Hi guys, so finally the MAH-CET exam has done, right? Now we have all heard about the problems that the students faced across the sections, across the different exam centers, right? It can be, Nagpur, you can say, right? We have heard about news that the exam was not started even after 40, 50 or even 1 hour, correct? And server issues and other things are also there, right? Which in any ways, it's a part of the exam, right? Earlier it has happened also, right? Now the second problem it was that the difficulty level across the 4 sections, right? It varied a lot. So the first slot was very easy as compared to last year. Slot 2 was difficult because of the reasoning section, games and tournaments, 2 sets and puzzles, right? Slot 3 was again difficult. Slot 4 was slightly easy. Okay. So when this kind of fluctuation happens in terms of level of difficulty, how the normalization will be done? That question is still remains unanswered, correct? There is no hardcore data about that how the normalization will be done or whether it will be done or not. CAT always does normalization since 2009, correct? Everybody knows about that. And it always gives you a formula about that, how the normalization will be done, correct? But what about MAH-CET, okay? When the 4 slots were there and it varied a lot in terms of number of questions also, right? You must have seen that in some of the slots, there were too many questions of number system, okay? In some of the slots, there is no DI. In the last slot, there were geometry questions, but in the first 3 slots, it was not there, right? So in that terms also, it is very difficult to normalize the things, which happened earlier also, right? If you remember, I have taken a video about that what are the learnings from the previous year, and we talked about this only, that how the things happened last year, and the same thing happened this year also, correct? Last year also the number of questions and level of difficulty varied a lot. Games and tournaments were there in the last year also in some of the slots, correct? So the first question now is that how the normalization or the scaling will be done in MAH-CET. Okay, no hardcore data as of now available for MAH-CET MBA specifically, but I looked on the site and I got this particular document from CET only. It is for MHT-CET, but obviously I can say that the process will remain same, okay, right? So this is the document on normalization, okay? So let's go through this and let's observe that how they will do the normalization about the same. So you can simply observe that first they define the percentile, which we already know, correct? Percentile is basically the percentile score of the candidate is as calculated as follows: 102 number of candidates appeared in the session with raw score less than equal to the candidate score upon total number of candidates, which is simple, correct? That basically gives you a rank. So if you have a 90 percentile, that means out of 100 students, 90 are below you, correct? That is simple calculation. Now they give examples, right? That if we have, let's say, 4 slots, right? Day 1 shift 1, day 2 shift 2, day 2 shift 1, day 2 shift 2. How many absent, how many appeared, how many total, what is the highest marks, what is the lowest mark? This is how they calculate the percentile, correct? So let's say one student has 191 highest in this, and in this one we see 195 is the highest, lowest is 1, lowest is 4. So for day 1 shift 1, they will give this as 100 percentile and this as 0 percentile, and then calculate the other scores based on that, and the percentile will be allotted, right? So look at the example, right? In day 1, 191 has the highest percentile, 100. In day 2, slot 2, 194 has the 100 percentile, and so on and so forth, correct? Now this happened with other things also. This is example for different exams, so obviously यहाँ पर different रहेंगे. Now what they do is the important point, right? Distribution of examinees in the 2 days in the 2 shifts per day candidates would be distributed in the 4 sessions randomly, so that each session has approximately equal number of candidates, okay? So we can safely observe that 25% in each slot, right, for the 4 sessions, correct? Now this is not important for us. Preparation of result for each session. The examination result for each session would be prepared in the form of raw scores and percentile scores separately for each of the, this is for subject obviously, so we'll not talk about this, but the point is that examination result for each session would be prepared in the form of raw score and percentile. All right, now this is not important. Look at this. This is the percentile for session 1, day 1, shift 1. So you can see that at the raw score 47, okay, percentile is this 48, the percentile is 100. Okay, this is just an example, right, for physics, chemistry, and so forth. The similar will happen with the MAH-MBA CET also, correct, if they follow the same logic, correct, which is highly likely, correct. So you can observe that 48 has 100 percentile, and accordingly 47, 46, 45 have lower percentile in decreasing order. Now similarly for day 1 shift 2, day 2 shift 1, and day 2 shift 2. Now obviously at same score the percentile will vary. Here you can observe that at 50 we have 100 percentile, correct, but here we have a 49 at 100 percentile, here we have 48 100 percentile, correct. Now what they do, merge the percentile scores calculated above of all the 4 sessions for the total percentile. Okay, I mean they simply merge the table. Okay, now look at this table. At 48 also we have 100 percentile, at 49 also we have 100 percentile, at 49, at 50, at 100 percentile. Okay, similarly if you see at let's say 47, you might have 99.97, you might have 99.93, okay, you might have 99.97 again, you might get 99.93 again, this is again for the same 99.94 also. At the same score you are getting different percentile. Why? Because of different slots. Are you getting the point? So if they go with this logic, right, so for different slots the percentile will vary. Okay, they will not do normalization if they follow this approach. They simply put the data in 4 tables first and then simply club it. Okay, so if you are in slot 1, so you might get 99 percentile at a higher score. Okay, I mean if you're from slot 1, let's say, so to get 99 percentile you let's say need 148 marks, but in slot 2 you might get 99 at 144 also. It is an example, okay, not obviously that is the case, but the point is that you should not bother about the level of difficulty, because you will get your percentile on that slot only if they follow this logic. Again I'm quoting the sentence, right, because it is not hardcore data, right. They have given this data for CET exam only for the different section obviously, correct, but obviously the process will remain same. We can be sure about that. 90 percentile, 99 percentile, correct. So now I think you get the idea, right. So even if you are from slot 2 or slot 3, which is difficult, right, so your score or your percentile will be calculated based on that only. Okay, so that means you should not bother about that how, I mean it was the first slot was difficult, second was first was easy, second was difficult, so how they normalize, so it does not matter actually, right. Okay, now according to this, so I can say that the 4 slots will be different. So this is the last year data, correct. 164 score, 99.99 percentile. Obviously will not follow this because it can be anything. Okay, let's start from this. So 144 score, 99.94. Now we have observed that slot 1 was easier as compared to last year. That means for this particular slot, to get 99.94, you should have attempted more marks. Okay, I mean let's say 147 or 148. All right, similarly for 99.71 you should have 136. Okay, I mean for this slot safely we can say that there will be plus 4 to 5 marks because this slot was easier as compared to last year. I mean, in these slots, you can add 3 marks, 4 marks, and later you can add 5 marks also. Okay. I mean, to get 95 percentile, highly probable that the score required will be 108. Correct. For slot 2, which is difficult, I can say that it should go down with -2 to 3. For slot 3 was slightly more difficult, so I can say it is -4 to 5. And this is again, it was easy again, right? So it is again +3 to 4. I mean, I'm not filling this data, but you can observe the idea, right? If you are from slot 1, you add 4 to 5 marks in these scores to get these percentiles. If you are from slot 2, you subtract -2 to 3 from these marks to get these corresponding percentile, and same for other slots also, right? So the gist is that if they follow the same approach which is given in this document, which is of CET only, correct? So they will give the percentile according to this, and you will get your percentile according to the slots. All right. So that's it about me, about this particular session, and we'll see you again. Thank you very much. Bye bye.